So one of the things that a lot of business owners struggle with are the ups and downs in their business's sales, or the peaks and troughs that they have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. One of the things we're really big on helping people understand is why these ups and downs occur and how they can respond to it. My name's Hamish and I'm the founder and director here at IIF Chartered Accountants. We work with small and medium-sized businesses to help them understand the impact of the ups and downs on business so that they can respond better with their resourcing levels, their staffing levels, and how they manage the cash within their business. So for a business, let's say that this is what their sales do on a monthly basis. It's really easy for them to look at an average. So they look at the average sales that they have each month, and then they'll respond based on the ups or the downs. So if a month is above average, they'll feel great, or if it's below average, they'll feel, well, not so great. We can do a little better than relying on average though, because if you're using an average, all you're doing is looking at a rear vision mirror, joining the dots together, and then saying what happened in the past will probably happen again in the future, which at a level is true, but is probably a little short-sighted as well. What we know is that these ups and downs occur for 4 reasons. So there are common fluctuations, there are what we call special fluctuations, there are seasonal fluctuations, and there's what we call tempering. So tempering is what I want to talk about mostly, but first of all, common fluctuations are the high frequency, low impact events on your business. So if you're running a cafe, for example, rain is something that happens quite a lot. So that is a common fluctuation in business, and it has a small impact in terms of the number of punters that walk through the door. Compare that to a special variation, which could be, instead of rain, it could be a flood event, which means that you're closed for a couple of days. Now that's obviously going to have a high impact on your business. Your turnover is going to go through the floor, but it also doesn't happen that often either. There's also seasonal fluctuations, which are things like Christmas. So leading into the Christmas period, you know that your sales are going to go through the roof. So instead of looking at this and saying, we had a great month, in reality you didn't. It was just part of a seasonal trend in your business. Or conversely, when January hits and you're closed for a whole bunch of public holidays, that can happen as well, which isn't a sign that your business is heading down. It's simply a sign of the season that you're in. The one that I want to focus on mostly is tempering. Now this is when you see this really high month here, and instead of celebrating it as a high month, to celebrate it as being a great month, you might simply take all the cash out of your business, which could be an overreaction to one of these other events that's occurred in your business. So as I mentioned, it could be simply that was Christmas and you've had a lot more sales because of that, but accordingly you've overreacted by taking a whole bunch of drawings out, which then means that you struggle to get through the next month, which is traditionally a low month, and you've got no cash left in your business to survive. That's tempering. Or otherwise you could say, hey, we've had a bad month that we didn't quite expect as part of a seasonal event. Because of that, I'm then going to offer a sale, or I'm going to discount, or I'm going to do a voucher system of some sort. Because of that, your sales pick up again. But they've only picked up because you've overreacted to another trend by having the sale in your business. So that can have quite an impact on, 1, your margin, but 2, how you then look at the rest of the year going forward. What we can do to help deal with tempering, or help dealing with these other common variations that we see in the ups and downs of business, is a little bit of analysis. So if that was our sales, instead of looking at the average through the middle, what we might do is some analysis to say that sort of 68% of the time, and there's science to back this up, we know that our sales fall within that band. And then 95% of the time, our sales fall within this band. So 68% of the time we expected that level of sales, and then 95% of the time we expected that level of sales there, or conversely down the bottom we expected this area. So We then only need to respond when our sales are outside of those set parameters, so they're either in that range there or they're in this range here. That's when we would look to respond and behave differently in business, as opposed to simply overreacting every time a month is above average or below average, because at the end of the day we know that no month is ever average. So the question for you today is, if you knew what you could expect your sales to be with 68% accuracy or 95% accuracy, depending on what band you want to be in, how would you respond to your business? How would you do what you do differently, and what impact would that have? So in our experience, for business owners who do have confidence in their turnover levels or in their profit levels, they can set their staffing levels more accurately, they can make better stock buying decisions, they can make better capital expenditure because they know how much equipment they're going to need to service the different amounts of sales at different points in their business history. So the call to action for you today would be to mull over what impact you, or what changes you'd be able to make in your business if you had accuracy around your sales numbers. If that feels a little tricky, feel free to get in touch with us, and we're happy to obviously do some analysis for you around this. Otherwise, another good way to go is to have a look at our cash flow ebook, and that's got some really good tips on managing your cash flow in response to the ups and downs. Or otherwise, check out our profit ebook, which helps you manage the profit margin that you're making on each sale to respond in the bad times when things are a little bit tighter, to make sure that you're making as much money as you can off fewer sales. Thank you.